Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Run It Back, the show where we try to get things right the second time. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Run It Back, the show where we try to get things right the second time. In today's episode, we're going to be going over a sealed pool that was generated online, as some of the simulation sites seem to have Outlaws of Thunder Junction out there. Not only with that, but also things like The Big Score and the other crime sheets here. So let's go ahead and dive into it now. As you take a look at the pool, the first thing I'm noticing is we've got 4 fixing lands, which is great. We also have 1 for mounts if we're going to end up playing in the green-white mount deck. And then as we splash over to our rarity, we see this Force of Vigor, which suggests we want to be in green. And Molten Duplication. Let's read this card. Create a token that's a copy of artifact or creature, except its artifact in addition to its other types. It gains haste and sacrifice it. 2 mana, this effect seems not very good. I would attach this to a body and I think it's fine, but for just straight 2 mana, not great. A Cruel Ultimatum is fantastic, but we got to make sure the mana is there. Void Rend, same thing. Great card. Got to make sure the mana is there. This Pillage the Bog seems probably pretty good, as you have the ability to plot it, play your land, and then look at the top, 8 cards of your library. You only get to grab 1, but this essentially is like a, join the team, I think is what it is, in Alchemy. So great card there. I see a Satoru here as well, which is fantastic. This Ornery Tumblewag seems very good. It's a 3/3 right away, and then as you can end up, doubling counters or just adding additional counters to things. Hell to Pay is a great removal spell, and then 2 Carevex allows you to cast a black spell from your graveyard, which seems fine, but nothing phenomenal here. Looks like we've got 4 black cards, and then if we want to end up in some sort of Sultai, then Cruel Ultimatum and Hell to Pay are out. So as far as rares are concerned, this is sort of what we want. But now that I'm looking at them again, I'm not thrilled with Carevex sort of thing. But these green cards I'm a little bit more excited about. So maybe we'll look at green-black, maybe a little splash of blue because Satoru seems very good. And then Force of Vigor is very interesting. I really think it's good, but I also have a tendency to think that this might be something you want out of the sideboard. Typically in Limited, you don't want to be pitch casting where you're exiling, and so 4 mana to destroy 2 artifacts or enchantments. We're going to have to see how relevant that is in the world of Outlaws of Thunder Junction. So now that we've got our rares sort of situated, and these are the ones that we want, we do have a couple of red ones that I don't think we would mind playing. We're going to switch over to the color stack, and we can see green is easily like one of the most here. Taking a look over this way, we do have like a blue-green for plot, if plot becomes good. Otherwise, we've got a couple of really good red-green cards. Both the Cactus Folk Sure Shot and Jolene plus Savage Smash being great. That might be something we look in as a little Jund strategy and drop Satoru altogether. Of course, double checking our lands. Looks like we've got some Temur lands with a small white splash available to us. That's something that we'll also have to consider as we move forward. Tyrant Scorn plays great with Satoru. Let's go ahead and bring these 3 green-red cards as they're great over there. And then let's dive into our green to see where we're at. This Bristleback Sentry typically plays well in like a +1/+1 counters theme, and so playing it right into Ornery Tumblewag seems great. The other key to this is a great saddler, so I have a tendency to think that this is going to play really well with this Ornery Tumblewag. Dance of the Tumbleweeds definitely seems like it could be good if we're playing 3 or more colors, because we obviously have the deserts that we can go get, and it goes directly onto the battlefield. So this also technically counts as a crime if you're going to get a desert. Gold Rush doesn't seem particularly strong. Throw from the Saddle seems very strong. This essentially is a clear shot, +1/+1 until end of turn, and then it's a punch spell. You get the little rider of its amount and a sorcery, but it's also only 2 mana, so we've got 3 great removal spells here in green. This one seems fine, but not overly good. This plays better a little bit in red-green because it cares about having 4 power creatures. This Patient Naturalist, I don't think I'm really excited about it. Tornado likely seems like a sideboard card to me. However, if you're really hurting for something, this definitely could make it into the main deck as it's got that cycling. Destroy target creature with flying, if you're really hurting for removal spells, is like not great but fine. But because we've got 2 Throw from the Saddles and a Clear Shot, I'm just not that interested in jamming this thing into the main deck. As we look into our more expensive cards, we've got this Cactarantula, which has 6 mana in the mana cost, but it mainly costs 5, especially if we're going to be playing any number of green deserts here. I just think that this is a 5-drop in our deck, so we'll have to watch out for that as we sort things. And then 6 mana, 7/7 reach ward, and then also you can go get a basic land or desert. Yeah, I mean, these things are great. Let's put those in there. So now, as we take a look at our color list out here, we can swap out just the multicolors as well, and see that we've got good green, but it's not going to really carry us through everything. So we're going to end up needing to bring in some of our colorless cards or into something else as well. Now, taking a look, black is the lowest color here, like the fewest amount of cards, which also means that Karavek is likely not going to be as good. Let's just double check it just to make sure. Oh, this Armadillo should be in here as well. Let's double check it. This 6 mana 6/2 with flash does not feel particularly strong to me. This is a card that I can remember a while back. There was like a leech that was a 5 mana 5/2 or something like that. 6 mana 5/2 and did a similar effect maybe in Mom, and it was okay but not phenomenal. This Rooftop Assassin having lifelink on flash flying seems particularly strong, so this one probably is at least playable. This, I mean, is a 3 mana 4/3, so you can plot this, and I think it's pretty strong. If a creature died this turn, it looks like his thing. Now, Shoot the Sheriff. That's a card that I'm really excited about. So that would be, a lot of these are fine, but Shoot the Sheriff is definitely there. Like, all this stuff is playable. Desert's Due is another one that I'm excited about. So, out of a couple of removal spells, black's not really that thrilling. So I'm going to take all of these cards out that I was not super thrilled with. And let's check out blue, because that's kind of where we're going. Actually, you know what? Let's switch over to red. Taking a look at these red cards, I like Jolene, I like Cactus Folk Sure Shot, and of course Savage Smash looks great. But if we're going to be playing in red-green, we definitely want to end up having some sort of 4+ power. Makes sense. So let's go ahead and take a look at our cards with that lens. Iron Fist Pulverizer is a 5 mana 4/5, and although we care about 4+ power spells, like this one just seems like it's not necessarily on rate. Like, if it was 5 power, I think that would make a lot more sense to us, but I don't know. Iron Fist Pulverizer just might not be it. Scalestorm Summoner is a 3 mana 3/3 that when it attacks, you get also a 3/1 dinosaur. If you can, yeah, okay, so this is a great payoff for having those things. Outlaw's Fury is a great sideboard card, but not something we want to play main deck. A Treasure Token, not bad. If you control another outlaw, so we might have to take a look at what our outlaws look like. Plant Wolf's not it. Ornery Tumblewag is a mount. So we've got these 2 outlaws currently, but like also that means we're not playing this on 3 and curving out. So we'll have to keep this one maybe off to the side. Scorching Shot seems great. Let's get that in here. Duplication is a card we're probably playing just because it can play really well with things like Cactus Sure Shot or something like that. Or like these big Spineward Armadillos. Maybe in red-green this spell kind of makes a lot more sense. Highway Robbery is likely something that's good. We could end up sacking a land or discarding a card, and then having the plot ability means that we can plot this early, just have it sitting there, and then it's not going to ever be dead in our hands. This is a perfectly fine 2 mana card. I think that's great. This is another outlaw that also does crime, so I probably am playing this. And then Hell to Pay, of course, is great. Explosive Derailment, also great. So feeling really confident that if we really needed to end up in just straight red-green, we've got 21 cards here, and then we can jam a couple of other things like the Tornado or this Grizzly Bear. Oh, but this Dance the Tumbleweed likely wants to get in there. And then maybe even something like this Boom Box or whatever. Now, considering black was not particularly strong, I do want to take a look at both of these other colors. Blue, because we've got the fixing for it in both the Lush Oasis and the Eroded Canyon. Obviously, this means that we're going to be playing this Bristling Backwoods. But then also, if we want to end up taking a look at the white strategy, green-white has mounts, and we've got a couple of really good mounts, plus a fixing land for mounts over here as well. So maybe we want to just do a little red-white or green-white splash red might be helpful here. So let's take a look at both of those colors. 5 mana, 4/4 that bounces one creature seems fine, but not great. I'm not, dying to play this in blue. A 5 mana 3/5 flying vigilance ward 2 committed crime surveil 2. This seems fine, but the double blue cost definitely has me a little spooked on that one as well. If we're in blue, we're probably playing this, but also it doesn't really trigger on our 4+ power things, so that's a little not great. 3 stop colds, which is your latest sort of artifact or creature. Yeah, loses all abilities, just tie down, lasso them up. Seize the Secret seems good. I think committing crimes is going to be particularly easy with our desert counts, so Seize the Secret seems like it's definitely good. Probably one stop cold is great. The other ones I'm a little meh on. Let's grab this other Seize the Secrets in there. Shifting Grift. I love playing this in like a cheap blue-black creatures or whatever sort of strategy. I don't think it's going to have a home here because we're going to be giving away our big cards, and I don't want to do that. This is more of a blue-white card. This is like a blue-red card that's fine. It's just a sweet little combat trick, but I don't know. I don't think it's anything to write home about. Metamorphic Blast, same thing. Like, this is a fine card, but nothing exciting. So we don't really have anything too thrilling in blue, so I think we're going to probably cut blue altogether, considering most of our blue and black is gone. Unfortunately, that means that like our Tyrant Scorn and Satoru are likely gone as well. And so I think we're pretty much just looking at the green-red style of things. We might even play some of these off-color deserts for crime, I think. But we'll sort of see. Like right now, this might be what we're looking at. Let's check out our white cards and see if there's anything that's really exciting in here, and figure out our mana base at the end. 1/1 counter on another creature. I don't think it's going to push anything really over the top to get to... Oh, these two cards probably could use one for a 1/1 counter. That also plays well with both these Bristleback Sentries and the ability to double counters with the Ornery Tumblewag. So this definitely is something that I'm normally not thrilled about, but it's great, I think, in this deck. It also turns it into a 4-power creature on its own to care about things like Jolene and Cactus Folk Sure Shot. 4/2 with a Mercenary. Seems fine, nothing super crazy. 3 mana, 1/1. Whenever it attacks, tap a creature, fine. Also +1 counter. Each other creature you control. This one seems probably fine. This is great. Get that in here. Haven't cast a spell with it. Gets a flying counter. Meh. Okay, this one seems good. 2 mana. 3/1 that carries counters really well while also gaining first strike when saddled. That seems particularly strong. Outlaw Medic I really liked. It was in my top 10 commons, but I don't think this is really the deck for it. We don't really want to we don't want to play a lot of white cards, but this one seems fine. I think this card also really excites me now that we also have a Trained Airings. Journey to Nowhere is a great removal spell for a creature card. Destroy target tapped creature. I think that's likely a good sideboard card. Destroy target artifact or creature. Its controller makes a 2/2. I think this is particularly strong in this deck. Generally, I think it's okay, but not phenomenal. But here, I think it's going to be good because all of our stuff is better than a 2/2. I mean, I don't think we really have anything that's worse than a 2/2. I think we have something that might be right on rate, but 2 damage to attacker and blocking creature. If you control a mount, it's 4 damage. Maybe a nice sideboard card against aggro. I don't think we really need it right away because we have things like Hell to Pay as well as Scorching Shot to take care of some really early stuff. On top of the fact we just have 2 3/3 defenders. So like if something is going to die to 2 damage, it's going to trade off with this Sentry. And then finally we have our Armored Armadillo, which is a Yoked Ox that eventually gets to be a 4/4. Nothing too thrilling. So now as we take a look at our deck here, we do want this Mount land, I think, and that puts us at 27 cards, and then, of course, the 3 lands. So we're going to need a couple of cuts here. I really like the armadillos. I think those are going to be very good, particularly because they can go get deserts as well, and you gain the 3 life when you ditch them. So I think this is a great main deck card. Cactarantula also seems great as a top end. I like the idea of having a flyer, and I like the idea of having these. So I like these 5 cards as our top end. I think that's great. We could end up playing 16 lands because we have both this Dance of the Tumbleweeds plus 2 armadillos. But I don't think that that's really what we want to be doing. We want to end up getting up to 6 mana. So we don't really want to be discarding these for lands if we don't have to. So this looks like the deck. This is where I would start with things. Let's put it back up here. And lots of 2-drops, but of course many of them don't really play on 2. This Dance of the Tumbleweed comes up to 3. These Throw from the Saddles need a creature, so they're likely on 4. Scorching Shot likely is probably on 3 or 4 as well, just because of the double red. And so, you know, our 2-drops are more so these creatures that we want to end up playing. A 3/1, a 3/3, this kind of stuff seems particularly good. And we are heavy on 3s, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's not the case, right? This Mystical Tutor could be a 5. Mystical Tether, excuse me. This Dance of the Tumbleweeds could also be even a 6 if we wanted to. These Spine Armadillos can be 2s. I don't know, the curve just sort of works out, which I think is pretty darn good. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm really excited for the new set to come out. I hope you are too. Of course, if you have any other questions, feel free to pop them in the comments below. Is there a card I missed? Is there a different color pairing that you would have ended up playing? Go ahead and let me know down in the comments. I appreciate them all. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.